Alright, today I'm going to be analyzing a set between ZG and Hoenn at Ultimate Freefall, aka Gravity Gaming Lounge, aka the Kenosha Weekly. Uh, I know from being there and from seeing a little bit about this set that ZG wins this set 2-1. It's really close. I think ZG is the one who gave me this VOD, and obviously, if you want to improve from your sets, you should mostly watch sets in which you lose, but there's still something to learn from everything. That's a useful skill to have, even sets that you win. To paraphrase Sleepy K, if you're not consistently JV4ing your opponent, there is something to be learned from playing them. Because they're still hitting you, you're still making some kind of mistake, or you could be doing something better. And it's also possible that ZD just doesn't have any other VODs to watch, which is still fair enough. Hoenn is kind of a mystery to me in terms of skill level. I don't, actually know how good he is. Kind of have no idea. He seems pretty competent from what I've seen to him, but I've never seen him on any, rankings or anything, so... And I don't know if ZG knows him well enough to really know that either. That's kind of a big thing to look at when you're playing someone, especially someone that you're not intimately familiar with how they play, is knowing how good they are. S2J talked about this a bit, where his way of looking at it was really simple, but what he essentially said was, you need to know whether someone is a bad player or not, because if they're a bad player, you can just kind of dunk on them, and it's really easy to 0 to death them and not have any problems beating them. But if you know that someone is competent, then you know that you actually have to respect them a little bit and try. So, knowing someone's skill level going into a set is really important, because that influences how you think of most of their decisions. Somebody who is at the level where they say 1-2 at their locals is probably going to make very different decisions in certain spots, say on the ledge or in disadvantage, than someone who consistently gets 7th or 5th. And knowing that difference is really important because it allows you to know what to do when you haven't seen any prior information from them. And that's a big thing to know going into sets, because the specific options that people choose in those situations sort of depend on playstyle and character too. But if you look at the sum of, alright, this is the character this person plays, and this is the skill level that I think they're at, you already have a pretty good idea of how many layers deep they're going to be thinking, and what kind of decisions they're going to be making in certain spots. Especially in places like ledge or disadvantage, where their options are more limited, and so it's a lot easier to read them. You can also apply this to neutral or other places that are more complex, but it's definitely easier to do it in the sort of easy-bake set play situations. So, Fox, PT, interesting matchup. I've heard a lot of varying opinions on who wins this. Seems like every Fox main kind of hates this matchup because you just get murdered by Ivy down air off stage. It's kind of hard to space around Charizard, and Squirtle does a lot of damage and really keeps up in neutral. But the PT mains don't like it because Fox can just kind of run all over them. That's sort of the dynamic in this matchup, is that Fox is going to be trying to play a fairly safe neutral, maybe camp a little bit, but not too much because Razor Leaf is really good. And then the PT main is is mostly going to be camping and trying to look for these hard callouts in neutral to get huge openings and kill Fox. I think it's pretty interesting that Hoenn starts with Squirtle. This is a pretty safe choice here. There's an argument to be made for starting with Ivy, because Ivy has insane low percent combos with up throw, up air, especially with platforms there, but those are more useful in triplats than they are in Stadium, because Stadium is a really wide stage. You don't realize, but this stage is insanely wide. There's a whole lot of space over here, and over here where you get a grab and you can't really get combos as Ivy, because down throw, up air doesn't work if they DI out, and up throw, up air would only get you one up air because there's no platform you to land on. So the most you'd be getting is a down throw nair, or maybe down throw forward air or something, which isn't really that good. Meanwhile, Squirtle has crazy combos off of down throw and up throw. I don't know if Hoenn knows how to do the up throw combos, but you can get a solid 0 to 50 with those. And down throw combos are okay. I like the crouch to avoid the lasers, kind of basic play to start the game. That side B, I don't really like that very much. That's really committal. If you hit Fox out of their movement, you get 10, 15%. decent damage, but you don't even get a follow-up off of it. Doesn't even really give you stage control because you bounce off of them, unless they're a way higher percent. And if you're wrong, you get put in this really horrible position where you either get punished outright, or you just gave up all your stage control, and now you're in the corner against Fox. It looks like ZG was trying to true punish this, but was just a little slow. This is a pretty simple situational awareness kind of thing where she should have just known that she wasn't able to punish it and gone for the grab here because Hoenn's probably going to shield. It's his only real way to get out of it. Or maybe tried to, like, nair and set up a good pressure situation. The dash attack isn't bad, though, because if you think Hoenn's going to spot dodge, it would probably beat it. It's a weird little scramble situation that Hoenn wins, and now ZG's, like, going to die for it. This happens as Fox sometimes, where you just sort of lose, like, a scramble, and you end up in this really bad spot where you could just die. Hoenn is able to get an aerial out. Not even an air, just a forward air. Still fast, but... And now ZG ends up going low, and she does a double jump here, which I think is kind of a panic option. What you probably should have done here is, from analyzing the Raven King set, do the Raven King, where you go low and sweet spot ledge with double jump, and the only way for them to hit you is to hard call you out. And what's Squirtle going to hard call you out with? Down tilt? Down air? Like, he doesn't have a spike, and even if he hits you low again and then switches to Ivy, he may not have enough time to kill you, so I think it's totally worth going for. Just going for the ledge there. Or maybe jumping back and side B'ing and going to ledge. I feel like jumping here is... It could work if they're not ready for it, but Hoenn is a decent player, and he's ready for this kind of thing and hits her out of it. Now he's a little slow here. I think it would have been better for him to stay on stage and maybe, like, shoot a water gun to sort of stop this IB and then down tilt and then put her low and then try to, like, hit her again or Pokemon swap or something. He has a really good idea, and then he just doesn't, like, follow up on it enough. Pretty decent ledge trap. Feel like maybe down throw would have been better there. A little more percent. Could have just been, like, a buffer thing, though. Hoenn is going low. He's understanding that he shouldn't be, like, jumping up and being too risky. That was a good little nair. Kind of interrupt the movement, and he gets a good follow-up off of it. I think maybe up throw would have been better there. I don't know if it still combos at that percent, but if it did, he would have gotten way more. That was a good get-up attack. Yeah, I don't like the way Hoenn is side being in neutral. They look like it doesn't have a ton of lag when you hit them, but if he had done something else to hit there, he would have had a way better position. He'd be way farther forward. He'd be in position to actually punish ZG for this jump if he called it out. He'd just be in, like, a way better spot. I mean, I can't really, like, agree with that Firefox, so I can't disagree with it either. Hoenn wasn't ready for it enough to call it out, so he just kind of shielded. I think the best play there would have been to full hop, because then you would have had way more actionability to punish it. Because if he had full hop, the only way ZG could have hit him was by angling the Firefox up to hit his jump, and nobody is that smart. So, again, kind of gives up stage control. It doesn't look like he gets true punished. It looks like he does something afterwards. Yeah, he tries to jump. Looks like a back air or maybe a down air. He gets a hit out of it. Not really sure why he does that. It's probably an autopilot option. If you know that ZG is going to go for the dash attack, you should just shield again. Or maybe spot dodge, if you think you can time it to beat the dash attack. Some good movement around the aerial there. I don't know if ZG had enough frame advantage, because Squirrel's a really low percent. I don't know if she had enough frame advantage to really, like, up air and beat that option there. Because the typical Fox option here would be to up air, and then just frame trap if they do an air dodge. But because Squirtle's at a pretty low percent, he's able to act pretty fast, and he has a frame 3 nair, so he can get out of it. So this is really smart of ZG to try to bait out that option specifically instead of going for the frame trap. This happens a lot in me and Comet sets, where he lands like a dash attack or an up tilt in a position like this, and he tries to go for the up air. But he doesn't have enough frame advantage to actually get the mix-up, so I just spam my frame 3 air, and it trades with the first hit of up air, and then he ends up in a really bad position because of it, and I get back down. Don't know if dash attack was the best thing there. Like, it could have worked, but it just felt like ZG was a little slow. And you've also just proven that dash attack doesn't give you enough frame advantage to get, like, a good opening off of it. So maybe it would have been better to up throw and then play a mix-up off of that. We've also seen a running trend of Hoenn shielding in these little scramble situations, so I'd be curious to see whether he changes that up and starts spot dodging or something, or whether that holds true throughout the set. Razor Leaf is a decent option there. Tries to cover like a certain side B angle. I don't know if I like the way ZG jumped. I feel like this jump is just in a position where it's so easy to get hit, and you've been consistently jumping a lot in this pod. So if Hoenn is like a decent player, he'd be calling this out. But I felt like Hoenn called it out the first time and then just stopped calling it out. Like the second time it happened was after the side B, so he wasn't quite in a position to run up there and hit her, but he could have charged F smash on the ground and called it out. Because Fox does not have a lot of air drift. He can't really do the Ike thing where he stops drifting in midair and then drifts back with a safe aerial, because none of his aerials are very big. And his drift is really committal and also not very fast. So he's pretty much forced to come down at this sort of parabolic angle and nair on your shield and then play a frame data game. So if you know he's going to do that, you can call it out with a forward smash. And the only thing he can really do is like neutral air dodge and hope he gets the timing right. Air dodge back to ledge and try to grab it maybe? Or maybe air dodge to the platform, but I don't think Fox can from this position. I don't know if down air was great. I think Hoenn's trying to hard call out a low recovery, but it's probably better to nair here and cover a wide range of side Bs. And if you hit Fox with a nair at any point, that this should be nair up B%, I think. And even if it's not, you still have Fox off stage again. And you can grab ledge and back air him or something. Hoenn trying to drift in with that Razor Leaf feels like a mistake. Razor Leaf is a bit of startup. Also, drifting in, if ZG had shielded, you're just going to get punished. That doesn't really beat anything. It would have been better to drift back and Razor Leaf, I think. Now, this is way better. Now you can actually frame trap Ivysaur, because Ivysaur doesn't have a very fast aerial. Sort of the problem with switching to Ivy kill presents is now you're giving Fox the chance to hit you with this little present situation. Do I think it would have been better to stay Squirtle? Maybe. Maybe, because Squirtle also would not have had all those opportunities to kill Fox off the side. Maybe it would be better to switch to Charizard. But then Charizard's also going to get frame trap, but you still have the option to kill them, so I don't know. It might have been better to stay Squirtle until you get them to like 100, because I don't know if Hoenn was like... Hoenn could probably recognize that he wasn't like calling her out enough. It wasn't like getting these hard reads and getting these setups to kill Fox at 50. So it would be better for him to play the safe frame data E character and get Fox to like 100, and then go for the simpler kill setups with Ivy, or go for a kill with Zard, or even just kill with Squirtle. Ned is really, really good at that, getting the jab lock setups, getting the callouts with a forward smash, and just killing you. Because Squirtle definitely has kill moves, just not as wide of a range of them. I don't know how I feel about that double jump. I think that was just sort of ZG realizing, oh shoot, I might have messed up my jump a little and I'm going to get hit by this Razor Leaf. But you're giving up a lot of stage control in doing this, and you're letting Hoenn dash in for free. This was something I was thinking about earlier, is I'm not entirely sure what Fox's best game plan is to get around Razor Leaf. So he has like a couple options. His short hop might be high enough to get over Razor Leaf, but you can also... The Razor Leaf can also just go up. I don't know if Ivy can control that. I know you can control the speed of Razor Leaf. I've heard that whether it goes up or down is entirely random. I don't know. Not an Ivy main. But the point is that regardless of whether they control it or not, it can go up, and that might catch your short hop, but Fox's short hop is pretty high. So Foxes like to full hop a lot in neutral, because it's how they get around things, because you have a really high full hop, and then you can land on them with an aerial and get a punish. But full hopping is sort of reactable if they're close enough to you. So it's a big danger, and Ivy has up air and grab, both of which can just kind of murder you for going for that full hop. So it feels really risky to do that. It's like you're sort of hard calling out them doing something, and not just sitting there and doing nothing or empty moving. I don't know how I feel about that forward air. I don't know if Ivy should even be going for those, because forward air is definitely not safe on shield. Ivy's back air is really safe on shield, but forward air has a bit of lag. So unless you max space it, It might be safe if you like max base it and drift away against Fox, because Fox doesn't have great out of shield options in front of him. But that's not what Hoenn does. He full drifts forward with it, just kind of hoping that ZG runs into it. It's not bad because you land it, you get like a good follow up. You might even be able to true combo up B off of it or something stupid. But it's not very safe. As Ivy, you should be sort of playing the safe game plan when you can, and making your hard callouts a little more like intelligently in spots where you're not going to get blown up for it. And now ZG just sort of reacts like, oh, he's in lag. Okay, dash attack. And he dies. He dies for it. That's kind of... Yeah, like, this all could have been avoided if Hoenn had just kind of backed off a little. There's so many things he could have done. He could have backed off a little bit and not gone for that forward air. He could have gone for the forward air but spaced it better. He could have gone for a raw back air and spaced it better, and it would have been uber safe. He had like a position here, but he hard committed on calling out ZG dashing out of it, and it got him killed. And the idea of hard calling out Fox dashing around is not bad, especially because ZG has proven to dash around a lot and not shield very much. And not even jump all that much, honestly. She's mostly just been moving on the ground so far. So calling that out isn't necessarily bad, but he does it in a way that's really risky. I feel like, I don't know, that felt like Hoenn throwing out a lot of moves. This is one of those situations that ends up feeling like an execution test a lot of the time as the player who just got the kill, when it really shouldn't. This should be like an actual mix-up situation, ideally, where the person with invincibility just has a free chance to take stage control and play a mix-up in the corner where you guess what they do and possibly hit them or kill them. But it feels like Hoenn's kind of throwing out moves here instead of like taking a second and really specifically calling out what ZG's doing. He's waiting for her to dash in and trying to hit it. He's expecting her to do this jump back. It just feels like kind of autopilot-y. And what he's doing isn't inherently bad because he is calling out options. It just feels like he's doing it in a way that's really autopilot-y and isn't like very well thought out. Which sort of seems to be a big thing with Hoenn's game plan, is that he seems to autopilot a lot. It's also possible that he is actually thinking about it and he's just kind of making like questionable decisions when consciously thinking, but the form and the manner in which he does them makes me think that he's autopiloting a lot and is just kind of waiting for ZG to mess up and like trying to hit her instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to do something safe here that beats this. I can compare this to Raven King a lot because he's such a good example. Is that Raven King, or Yumu actually, what I realized playing against him, is that compared to all the other PTs I've played against, he's so much better at being safe when he has advantage. And he'll space an aerial, but he'll space it really well, and he won't get hit by Pichu back air out of shield because he can space it well. Yumu is really good at not overcommitting in spots and kind of sitting there and waiting for you to do something and covering options with like a back air, or sitting there and trying to react to you and grabbing you. Doing things in ways where he's not overcommitting a ton. He's not like dashing in all the time. He's sort of holding his ground, staying into position like this and like playing the mix-up. Whereas it feels like Hoenn is always trying to force it and like running in the whole way. He's not really spacing his aerials. That was a very committal jump that I think could have gotten called out. Right, so from where Hoenn is here, if he hadn't F-tilted, he would have totally been able to react and up-tilt or even up-smash ZG for this. But instead, he's trying to hard call out the ground movement, and ZG kind of mixes it up. I think Zard's abilities as a character who plays reactive are really overlooked. Zard as a character in general is really overlooked, but especially like all of his moves are pretty committal, so you don't want to be throwing them out preemptively a lot. The only thing he has that's extremely safe is like max space forward air, max space back air, or F-tilt sometimes if it hits shield. The way Hoenn is trying to play Zard is very committal, where he's trying to run in and hard call you out in this sort of aggressive way. If he instead played Zard a little more like Yumu plays Ivysaur, where you play pretty safe, don't make huge commitments, and try to react to them doing something and then punishing it, or try to call out them coming in, but in a safe way, he'd be getting a lot more. It feels like he's trying to call out ZG coming in, but he's calling her out in the wrong times, like just ways that she doesn't do because she doesn't have those habits as a player, and he's calling her out in ways that are really committal and are getting him punished. I guess that's an option. I mean, it didn't even get the final hit, so I don't know how great it was, but I suppose that is a way to beat that if you think he's going to roll in. That was probably meant to cover neutral get up and roll in, but it didn't work super well in neutral get up, so, I mean, that's an option. Not very optimal, though. You definitely could have just, like, back-aired and then back-aired at a timing to cover neutral get up and then react to the roll in with dash attack and gotten way more. Some good little counterplay. That was a bit of an overcommitment, but honestly, I can't even blame ZG for it. That was definitely a jab lock. Not much more to say than that. Could have jab blocked, would have gotten a little bit of extra percent. Another benefit of jab blocking there is that it doesn't have as much startup. So if you get the jab block, you can get the follow-up in positions where you don't have the frame data to get the smash attack. See, that was a much better playing of advantage where Hoenn recognizes, okay, I'm going to call out this fox drifting in with an aerial because they always do that. But ZG is actually pretty smart. I was a little surprised that she did this, is that she drifted back and didn't get hit. That was really intelligent. That works, I guess. I don't know if that's a true punish, but Squirtle would probably have to buffer an air dodge or something afterwards. That was kind of a mindless roll-in from ZG. That could have been a short up air, and it probably was meant to be. It looks like that up tilt was on reaction. Like, yeah, oh, fox jumped, boop. But that could have been an up air on reaction, it would have killed. It's a simple little tech flub that potentially costs Hoenn. Yeah, and this is all just sort of fox frame traps. Which wouldn't have worked on Squirtle, but work on Ivysaur. I think ZG could have gotten a little more there, but backing off isn't bad. I like the cross-up, because Ivy really can't do much about you crossing her up, except, like, Nair. Alright, that was a little overkill, but the back air itself was really good. That could have been... Honestly, you could have gone for a shield poke up smash there, even. And that was godlike. That was good spacing. I like that. That up B option is really hard to beat. I never would have thought of doing that, but using like the leap forward with Fox's forward smash to beat that was really smart. So, Hoenn just got wrecked. The onus is on him to figure out what just happened, what went wrong, how do I fix it. Biggest thing is that he should just play safer, and biggest things that Hoenn should do is play way safer, stop committing super hard, especially when he has advantage, kind of clean up his inputs a little bit. You have to really do that before you can do much else. Already he's playing a lot better, throwing out aerials. He's done like one thing in neutral, it's way better. He hard calls out a full hop, which I kind of like, because that's something foxes do a lot, especially out of the corner. Most people jump out of the corner a lot. That's something that doesn't get called out enough in Ultimate. That's a really common player habit, since aerials are so safe. It's especially common for Fox mains. They've been doing that since Smash 4, and their full hop is amazing. I like that he realizes that he can't get anything off of this true, so he tries to wait and react to a defensive option. I think it would have been better to run in and go for the grab because Fox gets popped up a little, and I'm pretty sure Squirtle's aerials confirm to grab at those percents. But waiting for a defensive option here is not bad. He doesn't get anything off of it, though. That was a good shield. Might have been on reaction. Fox's side B's pretty slow. He waits for the up tilt, but then he doesn't react to punish it. That could have been a back air or a down air, which would have led into a bunch of damage, but he just kind of doesn't. That was a good little follow-up. I think ZG kind of messed up there. Actually, I don't know if this is a tech flow or just a lack of Fox knowledge, but Fox down tilt, RAR back air is true. It's true at this percent, like 100%. So you watch Scarfeld's combo videos, more of a combo guide. he shows off how this is actually the optimal punish for Fox at this percent is down tilt back air, down tilt back air. Gets you a lot more damage because down tilt up air only works on DI in or no DI sometimes. I don't even know if it works on no DI on Squirtle because he's so small. But down tilt back air works on every DI. It's a little hard to do, but it's really not that difficult, and you get so much more off of it. And instead, Hoenn gets this huge punish, all because ZG went for the wrong follow-up. I like that idea that he tries to call out the falling aerial. The up B at this height is pretty smart, because Hoenn can't like wait and react to Fox falling. He has to sort of guess on Fox's timing to hit him with the down smash. I think it's a down smash, might have been a forward smash. Point being, he has to kind of call out when Fox is going to fall to hit him with this attack. So if you up B here, the way to beat this would be to wait and react. But this is kind of like an out there option. This is one of those, oh, they haven't done this before, I'm not ready for it. Honestly, that excuse doesn't really apply, because ZG totally didn't up B like this before. But it worked last time, and Hoenn hasn't proven that he's ready for it, so... This is one of those spots where what Hoenn's doing is in adapting is good, and it works out pretty well, but it's still just kind of lost to the thing that ZG did last time. This is good platform pressure, reads the jump out of shield. I don't know how consciously ZG plays platform pressure. I don't know how consciously most Fox mates play platform pressure, because they don't seem that good at it. Call out post for all Fox mains. Your platform pressure sucks in this game. You're really bad at it. Get good at that. That's kind of your thing. I feel like they don't get as much off of it as they should. Fox's platform pressure is amazing. Up air is insanely safe and combos into itself. Back air is insanely safe. There's only so many options that Hoenn could have done here. We'll use this as an example. He's in shield. He has to shield because he could get hit by Fox aerials, and he doesn't have enough time to get out of there. What does he do? Drop shield and run off this way? Drop shield, run off this way? Jump? That's it. That's literally it. He can't even shield drop. He has that or hold shield. He has 4 things he can do here. It's so easy to like safely up air and call out one of these. You could just kind of up air like this positioning, and it covers him dropping shield and trying to go that way, him jumping out of shield, possibly going this way, and if he shields, you still have enough time to play another situation where the only thing he can really do is like full hop out of shield, and you can call that out. That was a short hop up air, and it beat Squirtle jumping out of shield. Like, you should be getting so much more off of that, but I feel like Fox mains go for these weird reads that don't make sense, where they're like, I'm going to hard call out him full hopping over here by full hopping over here, and then they just wait a second and then drop through platform, and they're like, no, now I'm dead because I'm Fox in the air. Like, these are basic mix-ups that I feel like Fox mains aren't that good at, and ZG's doing a competent job at it. So, good job. That could have maybe been some kind of punish. You could have at least done more with this positioning. This move is fairly safe on shield. Unless you have a decent aerial, you can't true punish it. But you can at least do something with this positioning. You can like up tilt. Could beat like pretty much anything he does except a double jump, and then you just kind of react. The dash back was fine, but then she rolls, which I feel like is probably a misinput. And then you do an F tilt afterwards. That was probably supposed to be like a dash attack. So fair enough. Decent aggressive nair. Hoenn was really ready for it. I like that jab. Dash attack might have led to more, but I think at this percent you might be able to start frame trapping Squirtle. Yeah, it definitely looks like you can. She tries to do it, but he drifts out of the way, so I guess that's not a real punish. Just one of those things you kind of get away with. Good old buffer dare dodge? Or she just messed up? Yep, that was a buffer dare dodge. Oops. That's a decent idea. There's a stupid Fox mix-up where you run up to them and do the taunt that sets you on fire, and then you actually upbeat, and then it hits them and then breaks their shield because they were holding shield during the taunt. Honestly, that would have been the perfect time to do it, because the extra shield decay during the taunt would have been enough for that to break shield, I think. And then Hoenn would be dead. Looks like it's a lot harder to back air against Squirtle because he's so low, so you just have to nair a lot. That could have been a down smash. Just sort of watching how they're playing neutral. Yeah, Hoenn drifts back there. He commits to an aerial, and then he realizes halfway through the jump, I think, they're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm committing to something against Fox. This isn't very good, so I should drift back. I like the shine there. That's the other way that Fox has of dealing with Razor Leaf, is reflecting it back. It sort of depends on how and where the Ivysaur shoots the Razor Leaf, because there's two different speeds of it. And reflecting the fast one is a lot better than reflecting the slow one, because you're more likely to hit Ivysaur while Ivy's still in lag. I don't think people consider that a lot, but certain reflectors do actually change the speed of projectiles. Some of them very significantly. I know Wolf's increases it by a lot. So when people reflect projectiles, they seem to consider the spacing at which they do it in order to try to hit the other person while they're still in the lag of shooting the projectile. But they don't always seem to consider the speed at which it would be going after it gets reflected. Because sometimes the range where you can reflect it back and hit them is actually a little larger than you think because of how much faster it goes. And it would depend on how fast it goes. So for example, like, say you have like this much range to about this white line here with if Ivy does the slow Razor Leaf, and this is the range where you can reflect it and it will hit them during their lag. But it might actually go all the way to the edge of the platform if they do the fast one. You can reflect it back and still hit them. I don't know if these are accurate, this is just like an example. And so, if they're mixing up their timings, you can read them doing the fast one and shine here, and they might think that they can get away with it because it's outside of the range where the slow one would hit them. But they do the fast one, you bait them into doing it, and then reflect it. And since you're just outside of this range, you're kind of playing footsies with their projectile, and you're able to hit them during lag. Hopefully that makes sense, but the different speeds and lengths of Ivy's Razor Leaf make reflecting it and using it against them way more interesting and complex than you'd expect. That back air would have hit in Smash 4, I think, because it would have gone lower. But Hoenn was just kind of throwing out a move. He doesn't want to be playing Zard against low percent Fox, because Zard doesn't really have crazy good follow-ups in that position. Called out the full hop again. I don't know how I feel about the water gun here. I think this is pretty good considering what ZG's done in the past, because she's previously gone really high and done an aerial or side beat or something. She hasn't just gone to ledge. So the idea is really good, because it would beat all those options and then put you in a really good spot where you could maybe even get a kill with Ivy. But ZG actually plays this pretty smart, and looks like she's going to jump high, and then goes low and grabs ledge. So I like that. Could have maybe been doing that more earlier on, but good that you adapted. Yeah, I could have gotten a lot more of a punish off of that. If you're going to hard read that, you can get more than side B. And I'm thinking he's probably trying to cover multiple options. But the side B just doesn't give you very much. He was just a little slow. Gets kind of hit around here. I don't know. It looked like... So, Hoenn gets hit up in the air, right? And in this position, he still has his double jump. He still has the ability to influence his drift pretty significantly. So, ZG should just wait, which he does. But after he commits to this double jump, he can't really do much to change his drift. Once he hits like right around here, he only has an angle from like here to here where he can go. And you can pretty much cover all of that with a dash attack or a run-up shield. And if you don't get a true punish on what he does, you at least get a good position. But ZD sort of like backs off. I think she was expecting him to jump the other way and then just doesn't react fast enough. And then she dashes all the way over here and like gives up the entire stage. Like, you have him in a really bad spot, and then you just kind of run away. You don't even try to laser or anything. You just kind of like, oh, wait, shoot. He didn't do what I thought he was going to do. Oops. I don't know if this is like an autopilot-y thing or what. Or if she was really expecting him to go in all the way, and then Hoenn started playing smart and drifting back. Because it could have been really big if she had him in the corner. She could have gotten a lot bigger opening. But instead, Hoenn pretty much gets center stage back for free. And now we're back to neutral. And now, even then, even in that little exchange there, so this all happens, and even here, ZG could be running up and sort of forcing him to play the game a little, because if she dashed in and Hoenn dashed in, you'd end up in like a little scramble situation where you get to play a mix-up, but you have more stage to work with, so you have the ability to dash back. And Hoenn can, but he has a lot less to work with. This could be like a Fox main thing, where she's scared of getting sent off stage and dying, especially at this percent, but I think you have to take this positioning and kind of work with it. You can't really like run away and laser at him. Feels like you sort of give him the stage for free. And then Hoenn gladly takes it. Granted, he makes kind of a poor decision with the side B, but there's at least some merit to it because it can invincibility through Fox aerial. But there's so many different timings that Fox can do an aerial that's just not like great. Honestly, I think ZD could have gone off there to try to edgeguard. Hoenn goes so low and he takes so long. He's in a decent bit of lag from that side B. And then he sort of takes a second after he double jumps to up B. So even if he had instantly done it, you could have, like, instead of rolling here for some reason, I don't know if it was misinput, you could just kind of run off and nair here, maybe shine, force him to a really bad spot. Because if you hit him out of his jump here, I think he's just dead, especially if you shine him. So the best he can do after that is, like, switch to Ivy and fast swap, and then switch again to Zard. And that gives you the chance to double jump and shine him when he switches to Ivy, or when he switches to Zard, and just kill him, and then you live. And that would be huge. That would have been a huge turnaround. It's questionable there. Yeah, definitely not supposed to be that, but it happens. That was kind of like a bad up tilt. That probably should have been a grab like right after the dash attack, but ZG gets away with it because of invincibility, so it's good in this context. Again, you could be going off to edgeguard him here. Squirrel up B is pretty good and it beats a lot of stuff, but if he hits you, he doesn't really get much. He can't really hit you with the up B from this position and put you off stage. He'll only knock you back on stage. So you're not risking anything to go for that. Now Hoenn's just kind of like playing safe, backing off, waiting for ZG to do something now that he has a lead. Gets a bit of an opening. Kind of messes up his combo. That was really terrible. I don't know what that was. See there, it feels like he kind of like... He had like this really specific read in mind the second he drops down. He's like, alright, gotta call out this one thing, and then grab it. And then she doesn't like shield in the spot or spot dodge in the spot where he thinks she's going to. And he gets punished for it. That's another thing I think Hoenn does a little bit of sort of tunnel vision on stuff. And that's not like a problem exclusive to Hoenn, that's a problem exclusive to pretty much everyone at that skill level, is tunnel visioning really hard on certain options. Even I do it a lot. But it might be better to either like... I mean, what he's doing isn't bad because he's trying to call out something, but I feel like ZG hasn't really shielded or spot dodged a lot in this position. She always either dashes back or rolls. This grab is a little mindless. And he also could have just sat here and waited for ZG to do something reactable, like a full hop, and then punished it. Or maybe like another roll. I like that punish. That was really good. Looked like... I don't even think that was a reaction. I think he just called that out. Yeah, he doesn't get as much as he could have, though. I wonder if up throw upper would have worked. This might be just outside of the percent, but... Maybe that was down through nair percent. I don't know. It felt like he was kind of hoping. I don't know if Hoenn knows that down throw up air doesn't work on DI out in most situations. He might just not be aware of that. So there you go. CG's really good at getting out of disadvantage and doing these really like well-spaced retreating back airs, which he does a lot. Hoenn could be hard calling those out with a parry, but he never tries to. He could also be like dashing away and then hard calling out with a grab or something. That was definitely a punish, that down air. That's pretty laggy. If you're ready for that as an option, you could punish it, but I don't think CG was. That was brutal. I didn't think that up B was going to hit because she was so far back. But I guess it hits the whole swing, so that was a good option. How exactly did we get there? CG gets hit by a Razor Leaf, does kind of a mindless jump in. See, this is the spot that I was talking about, where Fox's only real option there is air dodge away or neutral air dodge, because an aerial would just kind of lose to pretty much anything, because Fox's aerials aren't very big. But the neutral air dodge still loses, because it gets punished during the lag in the same time that a Nair would have gotten punished, for example. So she just dies. Like, she went for one kind of overcommittal jump out of pressure, and it got her killed at like 70. You really have to be really patient and disadvantaged as Fox. Especially someone like at Hoenn's level isn't going to be calling out you being really patient and drifting back a lot. That's only something that like better players really call out, not like dissing Hoenn. That's just like a hard thing to notice. And a hard thing to do under pressure is to commit to that, because it's more of a commitment, it's more dangerous to go for. So, game 3. Stage we go to town. Yeah, fair. I'm actually kind of curious to know what stages they banned, because Battlefield is really good for both of these characters. I might even venture to say that it's better for PT. Battlefield is good for Fox, because Fox can shark under the platforms, and he still has good follow-ups. But I feel like his follow-ups on platforms aren't nearly as good in this game as they were in Smash 4. And IVs are insane. Sometimes you just die because you get like true up air laddered off the top from zero. Not only that, but I think FD is really underrated as a stage for Fox, because he can just kind of frame trap you across the whole stage and there's nothing you can do. And you can do that to both Ivy and Zard in this matchup, and even Squirtle a higher percent, so that's really good. That's probably the reasoning behind picking Town, is that you sort of get those benefits, because it's mostly FD. It's actually FD half the time, and the other half of the time it's FD with platforms that are too far away for PT to really effectively use, because PT's jumps aren't that amazing. And Fox can actually get up there and kind of camp out and get little niche follow-ups. Like, the fact that you react to that with shield is okay, but you can definitely react to that with a full hop and then land and punish it with a dash neck or something. If you're really good, you can jump over that on reaction and footstool it from that range. And then Squirtle gets super duper destroyed because you get a free, like, landing strong nair, down tilt, back air, and he takes 50. You can definitely do that. That's like a simple matchup thing that would be really huge. Like, Light would have done that, 100%. Another big thing is knowing when weak and strong nair start comboing, because they don't actually combo at 0. Strong nair might combo into jab at 0, but weak nair definitely doesn't, and definitely not into down tilt. This is something I labbed out a lot with CRB when he was playing Fox. He still does. He was learning Fox combos and trying to find out what percent things actually combo. And it turns out that, for example, weak nair into jab doesn't really combo until like something like 10 or 15%, and weak nair into down tilt is even later. So I think there's enough hit lag on getting the hit, or you can just kind of know based on like where you're doing the move which hit you're going to get, and then be ready for that. And then actually go for what's true instead of going for something kind of hoping it's true and then it doesn't work. I talked about this a little in the Ed Boy Raven King set, but in Ultimate, knowing your punishes below like 20 is really important, because lots of bread and butters don't work or are a lot harder below that percent. So knowing what does work at 0 is really huge, because that can be the difference between you getting like a 30% combo in stage control or getting like 10 and then resetting to neutral. I think that's one of the things that set apart like high-level players from mid-level players, is that they know what actually works and are able to reliably land it. Like, that was definitely an opportunity to edgeguard, because if Hoenn was smart, he could like save his jump and then still live if ZG goes for the shine there. But if you hit him out of his jump here, he's possibly dead, or he has to up B again, and then you get like another free hit. And you put him in this really awful position where the most he can do is like up B into you. So let's get a rundown of what would happen, right? React to that, quick fastball land, run off, shine him. Shine him right down here. He saves his jump, he double jumps and up B's back, and then you have to double jump up B, but you're fine because he's Squirtle and he can't really hit you and kill you for that. You hit him out of his double jump. He's down here super low and he has to up B. Maybe he barely makes it back, and then you make it back and you got that damage for free. And you might even get back here before he does, or at the same time, and then you like get a nice little mix-up situation. Or he's too far away and he just dies at 10. It's totally worth going for, because Squirtle can't really kill you there. I don't think that side B is nearly as good neutral in this game as it was in Smash 4. It's so slow that it's reactable in a lot of spots. and it doesn't combo nearly as well. See, this time ZG reacts to it, and it's a little faster at getting over there, but she just still doesn't go off stage. Fox's ability to edgeguard is really underrated, especially against a character like Squirtle that can't kill you for it. You have such a chance to get all this free damage or just kill him outright. And you could definitely take that opportunity. That was a nice call out in the jump. That could have been reactable, but ZG was a little far away or a little slow. That could have been like an actual follow-up if you did something other than side B. If you'd gone for like a dash attack or run up shield or something, you could kind of play that mix up and get something. But instead, side B is too slow. But it would have worked in Smash 4, so it's kind of like an adapting to the game thing. Hoenn messes up a punish. Not a big deal. Falls for Nair jab on shield. I feel like ZG hasn't been doing a lot of Nair grab. Like, that's the counterplay to that, is that you hold shield to punish the jab, so then they start Nair grabbing, but I feel like she hasn't been doing that very much. She's been raw grabbing in neutral, but Nair grab comparatively less. This is definitely like an opportunity to kill him, I think. Because you can follow him up there and like double jump up back air, and you can double jump up here and back air right around this area and potentially kill him. And yeah, it would lose to side B, except based on the percents, he would get knocked back a little bit, you'd get knocked back a little bit, and you'd still be in like just as good of a position because Fox would be back down here and Squirtle would be up here. So you'd be in the exact same spot, except you had the possibility to just kill him. That was kind of an overcommitment. I think ZG maybe thought that that was a real punish, the up B or the up smash on that, and so she's just trying to go for it, hoping it works. That was a good read, but slow in the timing. That side B is just definitely not working out. It looks like Hoenn is reacting to that and shielding. I like that up tilt. That was nice. That was really clean. That was a good call out. She feints as though she's going to land with an aerial and then double jumps over it and punishes him. That's really clean. Yeah, that was a smart uppie. Yeah, that was a really smart uppie, honestly. Could have caught most of that platform and just straight up killed ZG because that move is dumb strong. Doesn't work, though. This is an opportunity to run off there and kill them. I think it's more understandable not going for it against Ivy because if you're wrong, you just get air cannoned and die. But, like, based on this positioning, he's in lag from the forward air. So if you, like, reacted to that and instead of dashing back and expecting him to, like, hard jump on or just mindlessly dashing around, I'm not sure what she's doing exactly, you could have run off and shined him there and then put him in a really bad spot. He'd still have his double jump, but he wouldn't really be able to kill you from there. Because if you also double jump right away, he wouldn't have been able to hit you. So I think the play here would have been to run off, shine the lag of this, and then double jump immediate shine in case he tries to jump over you in down air right around here. And that would probably just kill him or put him in a really horrible spot because then he has to come back as Zard. That's definitely a good play to go for. And there's no real chance of you dying. I could totally understand not wanting to go for it if you're not confident in it, but there was a possibility to kill him there or put him in a really bad spot and get lots of free damage. That was kind of weird. I think ZG was kind of like unconfident there. She is so far back on this ledge trap. If you had been a little closer, you could have done more with this. She kind of dashes back. I don't know why. I don't think she expected that back air to hit. And I think that has enough hit lag that you can react to it landing and then dash forward. Kind of take stage. You've definitely proven that you're able to space around that, and kill him for it. So that would have been a good spot to maybe like full hop over it and shine if you really wanted to call him out, or just shield it and then like read what he does afterwards. I like that razor leaf. The height that Hoenn does it at so that it doesn't get reflected. That's really smart because now ZG's committing to the shine and he gets kind of a free approach. I think he should have dashed forward instead of full hop because Ivy's full hop isn't really great for approaching. Ivy doesn't have great aerial drift. But the idea there is really good. This time he shields. Kind of messed up the punish, but he got away with it. ZG was not ready to DI that. Definitely could have DI'd that to the right and then been fine no matter what, because IV F throw does not kill. It would have been the correct DI on up throw or down throw, both as a combo throw and a kill throw, and you would have also lived that. So I don't really know why she was DIing that way. Nice follow up, good damage. I like the idea of that nair there, but I feel like Hoenn razor leaves a lot in spots really close to people where it gets him punished. It looks like that's what he tried to do there. Maybe he tried to grab. I don't know. There were times earlier when he would jab out of those positions and it worked really well, because that's one of Ivy's only fast moves. He could do that or down tilt, or just like dash back even. It's like he's either getting mixed up and is not ready for her to be close to him and like approach him in those spots, or he's just sort of mindlessly doing something without considering the possibility that the person's right there and could just hit you, and the fox is going to try to hit you because they love hitting buttons. That was a good call out. CG's been doing a pretty good job at hitting Hoenn every time he jumps off ledge, and he doesn't do it all the time, but he does it enough, and she knows like when he's going to do it. It's a good little punish here. He tries to go for the jab lock. He could have maybe like gotten closer and then reacted to the roll and still gotten something. That was a really bad side B. Could have gotten punished harder, but again, ZG just kind of doesn't punish it. Hoenn's kind of side B'ing a lot. The side B habit is especially bad when he's down, because he's giving so many opportunities for the ZG's lead to just grow bigger. I like that side B, or the neutral B there. I don't know why it didn't push Fox back. That was kind of weird. Must have been like the very tail end of the move. But the idea there was really good. Could have put Fox in a really bad spot and gotten a kill. The roll behind grab doesn't work. I like it. That was kind of a panicky air dodge, but it was okay. CG sort of realized she was drifting in and was going to get punished. It was like, oh shoot, wait, get me out of here. That is a decent thing to do that not many people do, is that you can air dodge at any point during your jump. And sometimes instead of aerialing, it's better to go low to the ground and then air dodge back. I do that on occasion. It's pretty good. It's not the best thing ever because directional air dodge is fairly reactable, but if you do it close to the ground, that's a good way to get around people who are expecting you to aerial or empty land. It's another option that I think a lot of people don't realize they have. Yeah, that was a better spaced forwarder than some of the earlier ones, but it was still kind of drifting forward. Probably would have been better to empty land there based on like the way he was drifting, or just back air or something, start drifting back earlier. I feel like Hoenn's not playing clean enough to make this comeback. He's kind of committing a lot. He's committing a lot to things that aren't like working really well. Like, you could make hard callouts from this position and bring it back, but he's not specifically hard calling out like key habits and making good reads. He's just kind of like throwing out moves, hoping, it feels like. And he's also making like lots of little unsafe moves that could just make him lose the game. I think there are certain spots where you have to take the guaranteed damage, and there's certain spots where it's best to go for the hard call out. And lots of people will get into the mindset where, oh, I'm down, I need to start making big plays and making hard reads, or, oh, I'm down, so I need to buckle down to play really safe. But they don't consider the context of when they're doing those things and think, oh, in this spot I should play safer because I'm down, or in this spot I should go for the hard read because I'm down. They play a little too like one note in that spot, and that kind of gets them to lose. Like, I feel like Hoenn is not really doing... Like, that was good, but... Well, it was at least okay. It was an okay grab. But he's kind of razor leafing a lot. He's playing a really, like, autopilot game plan. I feel like he's not really... He's kind of waiting for ZG to mess up. He's not really playing a super safe, non-committal, Yumu-esque game plan that would get him the win. This is good, though. He definitely capitalizes really hard on this opening. But partly because of the positioning, he kind of couldn't have gotten the kill here. Like, if he had tried to call this out with something other than a forward air, maybe this is supposed to be an F tilt, maybe this is supposed to be like a down tilt, then he'd force ZG to go low, I think he would have won. but instead he kind of goes for like the wrong follow-up. At this point, ZG's just playing really safe, kind of dashing around, jumping a little bit, basically just waiting for Hoenn to mess up, which kind of works, but you're also giving him the possibility to come back on you. So I feel like you got to play like a little more aggressive and like grab him once or twice, call him out like a little bit, but not too much. I don't know if going for the hard read up smash is the best play here, but it works. She does do that. It's not bad. I just don't know if it's the best play in some of these spots. She was doing a decent job of just kind of waiting for the opportunity to show itself, though. I think she should have grabbed a little more, tried to force it a little bit more, do a few more like short hop aerials, kind of like get close to him and threaten as though you're going to up smash and not necessarily do it, and then you kind of force him to respect that option. But ZG plays that pretty competently and it works out, so I think the biggest takeaways for ZG here is what are the biggest takeaways? Be more mindful of how you drift back in disadvantage and try not to like do really panicky things. Try to clean up your punishes. Some of them were really not that good. You're really good at platform pressure, and her punishes off of that were really good. But there are lots of spots where she dropped true punishes or would go for like side Bs in positions where it's just strictly suboptimal and there's no real reason to do it. Definitely don't give up this whole stage. You kind of hold your positioning a lot more and do more with it. Know when you can get a follow-up and when you can just hold positioning, and always take the stage control if it's offered to you. Other than that, that was a pretty well played set from ZG. I think the biggest thing for Hoenn is to just kind of like, he did it better as the set went on, was to commit way less with his aerials, get a lot better at spacing with them, and try to autopilot a little less, try to throw out fewer moves and hit fewer buttons, and kind of like wait a little bit. Like, take your stage control and then wait for them to do something, and only commit when you have like a good read on what they're going to do. Maybe like mindlessly razor leaf less and just kind of sit there, because it works against people who like aren't super good. But I feel like as you get to better and better players, you need to sort of think about what you're doing and make sure everything is deliberate, because they're going to call out you doing that without a ton of thought. But yeah, this is a pretty good set. I think both players can definitely learn something from this. They both did pretty well. Good one overall.